But listen. I'm not giving you any words of wisdom when I say that Taijuan Walker now has to be DFA'd. And the Phillies are in a no-win situation here. Here's the story. When you DFA a guy, he has to pass through waivers. Nobody will pick him up at that price tag, so he will pass through waivers. And then a Major League Baseball team will sign him because this league is so pitching barren. And I look around the corner and I see Rich Hill off the street at age 44 getting a job. Somebody will pick up Taijuan Walker as an innings eater for the rest of the season. And the Phillies are on the hook for the contract. That team that picks him up after he passes through waivers has to pay him the minimum. So there is no topic anymore about whether he should be a Philly starting pitcher. He's hit a wall. He's finished here. Maybe if he goes somewhere else, he could give somebody 5 innings. It can't be here again. You can't send him out anymore. So the question is, what do you do? The answer is, I don't know. That's what the answer is, because Michael Mercado is not a big league pitcher, at least not yet. He has to definitely go back down to AAA. Tyler Phillips, you want to take another shot with him? I don't know. You want to keep the left-hander in the rotation? Allard? I guess you have to do that. I guess your only alternative now for a 5th starter would have to be Allard, which means you have 3 lefties going. Lefty, lefty, lefty at the bottom of your rotation. I don't know if this is important or not to have a 5th starter that can give you innings. I would think that it is fairly important. So there we are with the Phillies. Bill, you want to take this down a bigger path. And I don't know where you're coming from with this. You believe, even though you have been harsh on Rob Thompson, you have now flipped a switch to include Dave Dombrowski on your hate list today. Explain to the people why.
I think Dombrowski is failing this team. I know he's a great general manager. You look at his history, the things he's done is incredible. He won a World Series with the Marlins, 2 World Series appearances with the Tigers, won a World Series in Boston. But you look at what he's done since he's come here, he hasn't done anything that moves the needle for this baseball team. You go to the NLCS last year. You come 1 game away from going to the World Series. What the hell did Dombrowski do this offseason or at this trade deadline to put this team over the top? He signed Whit Merrifield in the offseason. How did that work out? He continues to force Taijuan Walker upon this rotation. That's coming from Dombrowski. And you just look at his years here. He came here in 2021. Some of the best players on this team were already here. Harper was already here. Bohm was already here. JT Realmuto was already here. Your pitching staff, Wheeler, Nola, Ranger, Sanchez, they were all already here. So what has Dombrowski done to put this team over the top? All right, he signed Turner. Do you think that was worth $300 million?
Of course it was.
$300 million.
Of course it was. He was the best free agent on the market. He signed 2 of the best free agents on the market. You're going to blame him for that?
Is he a $300 million player?
You're not going to sign Trey Turner?
Is Trey Turner a $300 million player?
At the time that you're a general manager, you have to do the best thing possible for your team. You did the best thing possible with Harper and Turner.
Okay.
How do you have a problem with that?
Wait, you need to do the best thing possible for your team. At the trade deadline, a couple weeks ago, was the best thing for your team not picking up a 5th starter? The only move you make is for Austin Hayes and Estevez?
You are under the impression that these guys were readily available. You keep going down this Lewis Robert. What is the difference between signing the trade for Lewis Robert or Hayes?
What about a Rosarena? Why didn't you try to get him?
Rosarena went somewhere else. He's not lighting it on fire either.
He's batting 340 since the trade.
In Seattle?
Yes.
And they've lost like how many games?
The only move he makes to put this team over the top is Austin Hayes?
All right.
Look.
First of all, let's go back in history. I didn't want to do this, but we'll go back in history. Yeah, he inherited a good team. He also stayed with Bohm at 3rd. There was a time when this town was talking about acquiring Nolan Arenado and making Bohm the first baseman. I, at the time, said, no, I look at Bohm. He's got great flexibility. He has to stay at third base. He kept him at third base. That's a general manager decision. Then he signed Turner. He spent the money for Turner. He also realized that Stott wasn't an everyday shortstop while he made that signing and solidified second base. He stayed with Harper at first base. Now, Bowman third, Harper front. I probably would have tried to milk a year out of Harper in the outfield, which would have solved my left field problem. But he signed Castellanos. He traded for Marsh, becoming an everyday center fielder.
How'd
he
that
took
work
a
out?
shot. All right, but you're talking. Sometimes it doesn't work out. The mindset of you are under the impression that there's all these things that they could have done.
Listen,
and they're not.
I'm on board with Dombrowski up until this offseason, when the only move that was made to move the needle for this baseball team was Whit Merrifield. All right, give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Tell me why that was a bad signing at the time.
At the time, it was a good signing.
Okay.
So I just said, going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But then once the season
signing
begins.
Taijuan Walker at the time, tell me why that was a bad signing.
At the time?
Yes. But you have to make moves in real time.
Yes, but now with the benefit of hindsight being 2020, it was a bad move.
You're such an after-the-fact guy. You picked the easiest cherry on the tree. Well, it was a baby. At the time, when you're making decisions in real time, you needed a guy just to give you innings. You needed a guy who was a right-handed pitcher to put between two left-handers. Taijuan Walker's record wasn't that bad to the point where you would believe he could do that. Why is that a bad sign? Now, a lot of things don't work out, but your mindset at the time has to be this at the time will help us.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Every move doesn't.
I will give you that.
Okay.
At the time, it's a good move. At what point this season does Dave Dombrowski have to step in and realize that Taijuan Walker is not the answer? How many times are they going to keep rolling him out, and you didn't do anything to set your team up?
Again, you're looking at you're a reactionary. You're like, well, Taijuan Walker. Okay, we know that. It's obvious. Now what do you do? Now what do you do? Is this bountiful landscape of pitchers that you can bring in for Taijuan Walker? See, you're blaming a guy because it didn't work out, but you're not giving me the alternative on what he should have done and what he can do now about it.
So let me ask you, Taijuan Walker going out yesterday, whose decision do you think that was? Rob Thompson or Dave Dombrowski?
Give him one more chance. You have to be a businessman also. You got to go, okay, I'm on the hook for a lot of money with this guy. Middleton's already giving me all this kind of money. I got to at least exhaust the possibility that maybe he'll find something. He didn't. It's over now. Now they have to DFA him. But again, we're in the same soup. If you DFA him and you make everybody happy like Bill Colarulo, you still don't have any kind of a replacement for it. And you're going to blame him for that.
Yes.
How do you blame? What are you supposed to do? You got like this stock of players. The minor league system is supposed to generate these type of players. They haven't done that. If you want to blame Dombrowski, blame him for that. Now, he hasn't had a long time to shape this farm system, but there is nobody that they can go down and pluck to bring into the rotation like many other teams have.
So they either should have made a move at the deadline, or you make the decision a couple of weeks ago that you're going to DFA Taijuan Walker, because you mentioned earlier in the show, well, now you're going to have to roll with Colby Allard. Here's the problem. He's not eligible to come back until September 10th. Okay. That's a Dombrowski decision. So you now are going to have to pitch your fifth starter 5 more times probably.
You think all of these teams that are out there could be in the same soup with pitching? Do you think they have 1 to 5? Look at the Phillies and what they have. They have 1 to 4. I guarantee you 1 to 4 that they have is better than most teams in this league.
All right,
so that's not has nothing to do with Dombrowski.
But at what point do you think they should have stopped this Taijuan Walker experiment?
I did not think they should have stopped it until what I saw yesterday. They had to give him one more chance. They didn't have an alternative.
You just mentioned alternatives.
Who? Who was the alternative? Allard?
Or Tyler Phillips. At least they gave you a chance to win.
Did you see it? Haven't you seen Tyler Phillips pitch the last 4 outings?
He's better than Walker.
Oh, he's not.
Oh,
he's not
God.
better than Walker. There's no improvement there.
There's no improvement?
There's no improvement from Tyler Phillips to Taijuan Walker, the way Tyler Phillips has gotten raked over his last couple outings. Where do you see that? Where do you see there's improvement?
He's better than Walker.
He's a kid who finally has hit a wall. Oh, my God, I'm a big leaguer. He doesn't have big league stuff right now.
Dombrowski should have made a move at the deadline then.
All right. Here's how you get in.